Welcome to Less Than 2%. Now, if you're facing challenges with maintaining an erection, you're not alone. And we're here to help on this channel. We dive deep into solutions, proven techniques, and expert advice that most people don't talk about. It's time to take control of your confidence, your health, and your performance. Let's uncover the secrets that less than 2% know and start living your best life today. We have videos with guidance and suggestions on relationships and sexuality, especially for people over 50. We want to help you enjoy a life full of love and pleasure. It's crucial to understand that your masculinity is not defined by your ability to maintain an erection. This is just one part of a man's sexual experience in life, not the entirety. Think of your sex life as a car. This car has many parts: the engine, the tires, the steering wheel, the seats, the radio, and so on. If one day a tire goes flat, does that mean the whole car is useless? Of course. Not you simply change the tire and keep driving. The same goes for your sex life. If one day the tire doesn't work, it doesn't mean you as a whole don't work. Lack of erection can happen for various reasons: work, stress, family concerns, fatigue, or even the fact that you ate something too heavy for dinner. All of these can affect your understanding, the situation, common causes and contributing factors, sexual performance, but none of it has to do with your worth as a man. It's important to remember that sexual satisfaction doesn't depend solely on penetration. There are many other ways to give and receive pleasure. Touch, kisses, caresses, oral sex, among other things, are equally important and can be extremely satisfying for both you and your partner. And here's a secret. Most women don't see the lack of erection as a big problem. As long as you are present and connected with them, often it's our own insecurities that turn it into something bigger than it really is. Women value intimacy, emotional connection, and the effort to provide pleasure in other ways. Much more. Imagine you're at a party and suddenly you trip and fall. The natural reaction might be embarrassment, but if you get up confidently and continue enjoying the party, the situation can turn into a small funny story to tell. The same goes for sex. When an erection doesn't happen, it may seem like a big problem, but there are ways to deal with it calmly and naturally. When you realize that the erection isn't as it should be, the first step is to stay calm. Anxiety only makes the situation seem more complicated and uncomfortable. Able to take a deep breath and avoid letting stress take over the moment, as in any situation, the way you react can transform the experience. Don't worry about trying to force an erection instead of focusing on penetration. Take the opportunity to create a relaxed and pleasant, staying calm tips to reduce anxiety environment. If you stay calm, it helps create an atmosphere of trust and comfort. Focus on maintaining the connection with your partner. Trying to hide the problem or becoming anxious can create unnecessary tension. Be honest in a light way. For example, it seems like we're having a little technical challenge today, but let's enjoy our time together. In other ways, this can help relieve the pressure and create a more relaxed atmosphere. Use the time to explore new forms of pleasure. Focus on caressing, exploring your partner's body with gentle and affectionate touches. The idea is to maintain the connection and create a pleasant experience for both if possible. Use humor to lighten the mood. It's not necessary to make jokes, but a positive attitude can turn an uncomfortable moment into something you can both remember with lightness. So when facing a situation where the erection doesn't happen, stay calm, be transparent, and find ways to enjoy the moment. What matters is how you face the challenge and use the situation to strengthen the connection with your partner. Imagine you're playing a board game and suddenly the main piece breaks. Instead of giving up, you find another piece or change your strategy and still have fun when an erection doesn't happen. It's like the main piece of your game is broken, but there are many other ways to continue the fun and ensure the pleasure continues. An excellent alternative is oral sex in this type of stimulation. You use your mouth and in tongue to give intimacy. Alternatives focusing on emotional connection, pleasure to your partner. Many women reach orgasm with oral sex, and it can be an extremely intense and satisfying experience. The technique involves exploring her body with your tongue, and each woman reacts uniquely. Observe how she responds and adjust your movements accordingly. To start, begin with gentle and slow touches, exploring different areas and observing her reactions. Don't worry about following a script. The important thing is to pay attention to your partner's responses and adapt your technique. If she seems to like a specific type of touch or movement, continue exploring that area. Another is a highly sensitive area and can lead to intense orgasm when properly stimulated. For G-spot stimulation, which is inside the vagina, use your fingers to explore with a gentle touch and see how she responds. The key is gentleness and adapting to her preferences while exploring these alternatives. The focus should be on creating a pleasurable and connected experience. Use touches, caresses, and non-verbal communication to ensure your partner feels good and satisfied. The idea is to turn the moment into something positive, regardless of the erection. Imagine you're playing a card game and suddenly the hand you have isn't as good as you hoped. Instead of trying to justify why the cards aren't relaxation and confidence techniques. Good to the other players, you just play the best you can with what you have in sex. When an erection doesn't happen, the best thing is to focus on the moment and avoid explanations that can increase tension. It's common to want to explain what's happening, but this can end up creating more discomfort phrases, like "I'm nervous" or "this has never happened to me before," can make you and your partner feel even more uncomfortable and increase anxiety at the moment, instead of trying to justify the situation. Focus on the pleasure you can still share by diverting attention to other forms of pleasure. You help create a more relaxed environment. Show that you are committed to the experience and want to enjoy the moment together. If you feel the need to speak, do so briefly and positively. Something like, "Let's focus on other forms of pleasure and see what we can enjoy together," can help shift the focus to the experience itself without creating a sense of guilt or embarrassment. Staying calm and focusing on shared pleasure helps make the moment feel more natural and enjoyable without the need for explanations. You and your partner can concentrate on enjoying the experience when the erection isn't as expected. Oral sex is an excellent way to ensure the experience remains pleasurable for both. This method uses the mouth, tongue, and lips to stimulate your partner and can be extremely effective to start. Begin with gentle and exploratory touches. Use your tongue to caress and explore the area around thee. Exploring new forms of pleasure, clitoris and vula. Her reactions will guide you on what she finds most pleasurable. Observe how she responds. If she seems relaxed and satisfied, continue with what you're doing. If she changes position or makes a different sound, it may be a sign to adjust. Your technique variation is important. In oral sex, don't get stuck in a single technique. Try different movements with your tongue and lips. You can alternate between gentle and firmer touches or between circular and straight movements. Pay attention to her reactions to find out what works best. In addition to stimulating the clitoris, you can explore other areas around the vula. The inside of the vagina can also be stimulated with the tongue, providing a different sensation that many women find pleasurable if you feel she is responding. Well, continue to explore these areas. Communication during oral sex doesn't need to be verbal. The way you perceive your partner's reactions and adjust your technique is a very effective form of communication. If you notice something is working well, maintain the rhythm if her reaction suggests something is not as pleasurable. Adjust accordingly. The goal of oral sex is to provide pleasure and ensure the moment continues to be special. When you focus on being attentive and adaptable, you can offer an extremely satisfying experience, even without a full erection, when the penis isn't functioning as expected. Exploring new forms of the importance of open communication with your partner. Stimulation can make a big difference. Using touch and breathing creatively can enhance the sexual experience and provide a deeper connection with your partner. Experiment with different types of touch using your tongue. And lips apply variations of pressure and rhythm based on her responses, instead of sticking to one method. Explore how subtle changes in touch can increase pleasure. This can include both gentle and firmer movements depending on what she seems to prefer. Breathing can also have a significant impact. Try adjusting the rhythm of your breathing to align with the rhythm of your movements. Breathing deeply and controlled while stimulating can create a more engaging and intimate sensation. The synchronization between touch and breathing can intensify the experience. Combine different stimulation techniques. Use the tip of your tongue to trace patterns around the clitoris and vulva. Then switch to broader movements with your tongue. This variation keeps the experience interesting and can increase the intensity of pleasure. Observe how your partner reacts and adjust your touch, and breathing accordingly. Being attentive to her responses helps you adapt our technique to maximize pleasure and transforms the moment. Even when facing erection difficulties, these practices can provide new forms of pleasure and strengthen the connection between you. I hope you enjoyed today's tips on how to deal with a lack of erection and explore other forms of pleasure. Now, I want to hear from thank you for tuning in to less than 2%. No, remember, challenges with maintaining an erection are more common than you think, and solutions are within reach, whether it's through lifestyle changes, mental strategies, or professional help. There's always a path to improvement. If you found value in today's lesson, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the tips that can change your life. Let's continue this journey together because your sexual health matters.